Good morning, everyone. Today I am here in Aleppo, Syria, in one of the many destructed neighborhoods, and I'm going to be meeting with a few locals, hearing their stories about what they suffered, what they went through, and then telling you about how they're going to rebuild everything moving forward. So this is going to be a very difficult video to make. My hand's shaking right now just holding the camera by what I'm looking at right now, but I think their stories need to be heard. The war in Syria is devastating. It's estimated that rebuilding the entire nation would cost upwards of $250 billion, as buildings, historical sites, and cities are now in ruins. My goal today was to meet with some locals and share their stories, so I got in touch with an NGO called SOS who is doing lots of amazing work in Aleppo and around the country. I met with several volunteers who allowed me to join in as they rebuild homes and bring gifts to the elderly.
Now we are in Aleppo, in the neighborhood that's called Bastan Basha. We are rebuilding houses, and here is the border, the front line during the war. Bastan Basha was held by Jabhat al-Nusra, Al-Qaeda in Syria. So you are in the heart of a real strong battle that was happening in Aleppo.
Walking through the streets in this neighborhood, and it's just completely gutted and destroyed. It's sad. It's really sad. Can you explain what happened? Just tell me the situation that happened here.
شو صار هون وقت الأزمة طلعنا من البيت 2012.
In 2012, on August, they just left the house, and they came after 7 years to just see it like that.
طلعنا صار حرب هون.
It wasn't like electricity or water or any food. They didn't have any solution just to escape from this neighborhood, so they didn't have choice.
Wow. The volunteers have been here rebuilding her home to ensure that she can get back to the life she once had.
So we have like a kind of list of people who are really in need and who really need their flat to be rebuilt. So that's why we decided to come in this particular flat.
How does it feel to help out?
It's nice because these people here, they suffer a lot from the war, and if we can just do a little thing like this, just cleaning and help them to build something new, it's the least that we can do.
Then we walked over to another lady's home to greet her and spend some time together.
أهلا وسهلا أهلا وسهلا. مين ترجمة؟
أنا ترجمة.
يلا.
She said God protect you, and I'm
Allah
happy to see you.
Oh, I'm happy to meet you also.
شكرا. Thank you.
Thank you.
Her legs became this large as a result from depression and not being mobile. She has been sitting right here without her family for several years, but amazingly, she has the energy to greet us and tell us stories about her hardships. So she was left here all by herself?
Yeah, she's alone now. Everybody of her family left outside. This is a problem. So she was sad, and because of sadness, she became like that. The son of her sister and the son of her brother.
They were both kidnapped?
Yes, but not together. One, he was going to see his shop here in Aleppo, and they asked money for like $10,000. And after he came back, they kidnapped the son of her brother, and they asked like $12,000 to give him back. So they took all the money that they have.
Before we said goodbye, the volunteers left her with a long-time supply of diapers, and I will never forget the joy on her face. Lastly, we met with another young man from a nearby town who lost everything.
كانت العصابات المسلحة مطوقة كل فترة يضربونا.
It was surrounded by the terrorists, and they were attacking them every time. They were drinking mate and smoking nargile. When the terrorists struck the house with a missile.
Like right where we're standing, right here?
هون نزل هون تماما.
It was here.
Like right here, right below our feet. So now, what's the process like to rebuild?
منظمة SOS.
SOS, our association that is helping him to rebuild the house and to make it like it was before.
As soon as I turned off my camera after that interview, I mean 5 seconds later, a bomb just went off that must have been a few miles away, and nobody seemed to be freaking out, but it's just not something that I'm used to hearing, I guess. The SOS volunteers are here getting their hands and feet dirty, carrying sand inside to fix his home. You can really see the hope and desire in the eyes of each person we met with. They just want to move on, especially here in Aleppo. The city is being reconstructed so life can get back to normal.
Yeah, it's incredible because you can see just one shop, and sometimes one shop is just a man who is just
Right
selling.
behind you, yeah.
Just right here. Yeah, you see that from their own, they do it alone without any help to sell some potatoes, some vegetables. But it means that life is coming back.
10 years ago, 15 years ago, you had a shop right here?
ايه هذا المحل صار له 80 سنة.
This shop, it's
كان
been
محل
like
سمين.
since 80 years old.
80, and what do you sell?
Biscuits and some cleaning stuff.
What's your plan for coming forward?
عم بشوف انه كل المحلات مسكرين وكل البيوت خربانه والمحلات انت
هلا في معلومة ما حدا بيعرفها.
For him, like some of the people they just left Syria, some of people did, some of people want to return back, but for him, he said like this is my job, this is my work, this is my shop. So of course I will reopen it and be with it, even if it doesn't work well.
It's been very humbling to sit down with these people and hear their stories, and they're just so incredibly touching and sad, to be honest. And it's also amazing what SOS is doing. I've really enjoyed spending the day with them, but more needs to be done as Syria remains fragile and vulnerable. Can't imagine what it would be like to you hear that? There's more gunfire. And I'm getting used to it at this point. But anyways, what I was saying was I can't imagine what it would be like to be in their shoes and lose family members and loved ones and their houses and everything, all their possessions. But they might be the strongest people that I've ever met in my life, and it's great to see.
Hey Drew, it was very amazing to meet you here. I hope you enjoy your time here in Syria. And you guys, if you want to come here also to help the people, to help Syrian people to rebuild their country, come to our association, soschrétien-d'orient.fr. Here is the link. Don't hesitate to join us as a volunteer or to give us any donation to continue to help the people here. Thank you so much, Drew.
Thank you, man. Great to meet you.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
First 2 years of the war, it was difficult to lose someone because it's something strange for us to hear that someone is young died. It's something not normal for us. We know only that old people or sick people will die, but we didn't lose anybody before that in this like this shooting or something like this. But after 2 years of war, it was not normal, but we expect everything. We expect that we will go to our job and we will not come to home. Like everyone called his family before he go to job, and he called them after he arrived home. It was very bad. Like you don't know if you will come back to your house or not. First, when you hear someone Syrian die, you became sad. Then it's became more like one of your city, one of your village, one of your relatives, because everybody is dying. So it became more difficult. Like you are caring only about the people you know.
Yeah.
Because you are losing everything around you. You don't want to lose your relatives, your friends. I think Syrian people are the most positive people in the world.
Yeah.
If any country has what we had, they will be crazy. They will stop their life. But life should continue. Nobody will stop his work. Nobody will die after someone who died. You can't do anything. You only need to continue your life.
I'm Drew Binsky, and if you like my travel videos, please click subscribe and join me as I plan to visit every country in the world.